Welcome to another episode of Ikezy Talks Sports, and I remain your humble host, Ikezy. Now, I'm going to talk about the Leeds versus Arsenal game, right? I know I didn't do it pre-match, but yes, post-match, right? Um, Before I say anything, like I always say, please subscribe. Subscribe to this channel. This is the way you can support me. You can support all the guests and everything that I bring on board. It's also a way that you can keep, abreast and informed whenever I drop a new video or post or whatsoever. And please always share your comments in the comment section just so I get a feel of what you think. So I don't feel like I'm just doing this by myself or whatever. But yeah, back to what we wanted to discuss. Leeds versus Arsenal. A very comfortable victory for Arsenal. 1 away from home, 4-0. Last week I did say panic mode had been activated. But this week, confidence mode activated, panic mode deactivated. And here's why, right? I also said during the midweek that I wanted Arsenal and Arteta, the boys, to do their talking on the pitch. I know Arteta said he held this meeting with the team where he asked them how they were feeling and how they wanted to approach the next 4 months. And this Leeds game was always tricky. It was a very crucial game. It was a very crucial game to assess where the team are mentally and also to assess where they are emotionally. Right? Because it did feel like the pressure was getting to the team a bit more, especially after the Manchester United game. And, they delivered a solid performance today. Yeah, it was away from home. It was a bit tricky at times. But one thing I noticed was even when we were leading, we did not start making those mistakes that we usually do. We were much more calm and composed. And then also, we kept going and going for the next goal. Even when we were funny up, we kept going. And that is what I want to see from this Arsenal side. This is what is going to propel us back to that title charge. And this is what can inevitably, or at the end of the day, have us lift the Premier League trophy. Don't put the handbrake on. Just keep going. Finish up your opponent, regardless of the context of the game. Either you're at home or you're away. And they did that today against Leeds. A very solid performance all around from all the players. Every single one of them turned up today. And I'm super impressed. And I know a lot of fans will agree with me and will also be impressed as well. I did say after the car ride game in the Champions League, I called out Madueke and I said I felt like he wasn't giving his best, like he wasn't doing his best. I did say it wasn't good enough, but there's a difference between you actually putting your best, because when Arteta bought this guy, he bought him because he knows that he has so much potential. Beating his man is not a problem, but his decision making in the final third is what I said needed to improve, and I saw a lot of improvement today. Yes, you cannot go from being a 20 to a 80, drastically. You have to go from a 20 to a 40 to a 50 to a 60. Yes, he has made a step, in trying to improve, and especially because he wasn't even supposed to start the game today. Saka was supposed to start, and Saka had that injury in the warm up. Hopefully, it's not a serious injury, but he stepped up. Broke the deadlock with a very brilliant cross for Zubimendi, and also forced the own goal from the keeper from that set piece. And when I was watching the game, I took down a note, because as at the time when Leeds considered that own goal was our highest goal scorer in the league, and I was laughing. I'm like, I would take it if we win, by if we get the 3 points. However, it was just quite funny. It was just quite funny that we're just finding all kinds of ways to win. There's a debate on whether it's going to be sustainable or not. But at the end of the day, we're able to get our strikers to score. Gyokeres scored, Jesus scored, right? And I want to talk about that Gyokeres. I want to talk about Gyokeres because he has scored in his last 2 games. And if you notice the way we've been playing the last 2 games, we've been much more direct. Not really concerned about controlling or passing the ball from side to side, piercing the opponents through the middle, being direct, delivering those crosses early. Brilliant cross by Martinelli today, for him. And you can see, I've always been supporting him. I've always been supporting Gyokeres. A lot of people say, oh, he's not scoring goals. A striker will be judged by his goals. But you have to look at the other thing that he's been doing. This guy makes all the movements. It's just that his teammates were not able to find him. And now we're starting to see glimpses of, his teammates finding him. Martinelli today was Havertz Wednesday. And This guy scores goals. He scores goals, right? One thing I also said that I wanted was I want him to get enough chances. See, there's a difference between a striker not getting any chance at all. Because if you think about it, you don't score every chance you get. Check Elland, check Ronaldo, Prime Ronaldo, Mbappe. They don't score every chance they get. But a striker feeds off of chances. Yes, he will score some and he will miss some. I want to even see him miss some, right? So that he can, get better, get his confidence up, learn, and then, eventually score. Because he missed a chance that Trossard created for him earlier on. The Premier League is fast paced compared to the Champions League or Portuguese league. So he should have taken that ball early, right? But then again, he kept fighting. He got another chance, and you could see how he fought to score that goal. That is what I want for my striker. Exactly what I want for my striker. And kudos to him. That was a brilliant performance by Gyokeres. His pressing was on point. His energy throughout the game was on point. Kai Havertz, very fantastic 60 minutes. I think, building his confidence back home, getting him to his minutes. I think Kai Havertz is going to be that wild card for us in this running, right? And I just hope that he can maintain his fitness and we can continue to use him, to expose the opposition's defense, right? Because of the direct running. He's always running as opposed to Odegaard that drops back, how to always try to exploit the space ahead of him. And I think it's a brilliant master stroke from Arteta to play Gyokeres and Kai Havertz, especially because of their physicality in how they deal with the opposition defenders, causing the defenders all sorts of problems, right? And Jesus came in, a beautiful goal by Jesus. I thought that goal was really brilliant, and I want to give credit where it is due. Right, I've been very critical of Odegaard up until this point, but today I thought it was brilliant. Now, Odegaard, you can see when you pass the ball forward quicker, and you always look to pass the ball forward, things happen. I saw him, even when he was getting the ball from deep, he was quickly progressing the ball to Declan Rice or to Zubimendi, and he gave the assist for Jesus. Forward passes, that is what we need. I've said it. We don't need to be obsessed with the low block or try to control the game all the time. Sometimes we need to trust in our ability to actually defend the ball and hit the opposition on transition, because we have the tools, we have the ability, we have the passers, we have the runners, we have the shooters that can actually get us the goals that we need. So I was really, really excited. We scored a couple goals from open play, which is something that the teams have been critical of us of late. And a lot of people can say, oh, it's Leeds. Leeds away is always a tough fixture. Don't let anybody gaslight you, Arsenal fans. Leeds away is always a tough fixture. This was a brilliant result, and I believe that this result will propel us, to get a couple of runs or a couple of wins, and then increase the points gap on the table. I said it during the midweek. Arsenal, we have the potential to increase the point gap to 7 or even 9 over the next 5 weeks, because Man City's fixtures are relatively harder than ours, right? They're facing Tottenham Hotspur in their next game. They're going to face Newcastle. They're going to face Liverpool. They're going to, play some really tough teams. They're also going to play Leeds, right? So I think we getting the 3 points today, extending the points, gap to 7 points back. Confidence restored, 2 wins in the bounce in all competitions. Everything is looking good. Clean sheet secured. The squad is looking healthy. It was quite unfortunate that Saka got that. I think they said to his left hip. I seriously hope it's not going to be a big issue because Bukayo Saka is extremely important to how we play. But this is the purpose of having squad depth, and I think that Madueke put in a great shift today. We didn't even miss Bukayo Saka, right? And that's one of the reasons why, even me as an Arsenal fan, at times when I say I'm panicking or I'm scared, the fact that we have the squad depth that we have gives me the assurance in those down times that we can actually do it. Yes, we can do it. And I believe that with this team, we can, and with this result, rather, we can, build some necessary momentum and, continue to secure our first place finish and secure the title. Next game is against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. We are 1 leg into the final. Guys, we can do this. We can absolutely do this. It's Chelsea and we are playing at home in the Emirates, right? Whatever you do not lose that game. That's it. If you get a draw, we are in. If you win, we are in. Do not lose that game. That's the most important thing. I expect a professional performance against Chelsea. I don't think it's going to be the most brilliant football. Just get the job done. We're looking at the final, and when we get to that final, give it our all. And, hopefully our season can have a remarkable turnaround, and then we can go on with that confidence to win all the other trophies that are in front of us. But anyways, don't let me take any much of your time. If you haven't subscribed at this point, please hit the subscribe button and share your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think? What do you think about Kai Havertz's performance? What do you think about Jesus Kemi? What do you think about Gyokeres? What do you think about Madueke? He was man of the match, by the way. What do you think about Odegaard? The improve in his performances? And we've been highly critical of him. Zubimendi was solid today. Galafuri came back and it was brilliant. What do you guys think? Share in the comment section, and I will see you in the next episode. I remain your humble host, Ikezy, and peace.